OJUKWU emeko chukwurana ODIMEGWU ikembana ODIMEGWU emeko chukwurana ODIMEGWU ikembana ODIMEGWU emeko chukwurana owebulu ọnwụ
Hello, MAZI Solomon. Good evening, fellow Biafrans. Good evening and welcome to the program. I want to say thank you. This is Biafra Television, and we are transmitting live. And it is 12 minutes past midnight on the 27th of February, 2021 from Veneto, Italy. My name is MAZI Ikem Patrick DK, and with me is MAZI Solomon Peter.
Thank you, Biafran all over the world. As you know, my name is Solomon Peter. I'm transmitting from Australia, joining this very program with MAZI Patrick in this hour of the day. Is just 13 minutes past 10 a.m. in the morning from here, Sydney, Australia. Thank you for joining us at this moment. I bring greeting to all of you, all lovers of freedom, lovers and the haters of MAZI NNAMDI KANU. You are welcome into this edition of this program. As to regard to the update, updates concerning our agitations, you are welcome to in this very platform at this hour of the night to make this conversation possible with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MAZI Solomon. Why are we doing this program this evening? Because we want to address the issue of Ohaneze and the new Secretary General of Ohaneze and his assertion about the leader of IPOB, MAZI NNAMDI KANU. And MAZI, I know that your time is limited, but we're going to take it as brief as possible so that maybe in the next 30-45 minutes we'll be able to end this analysis and make sure that our people understand how Ohaneze have messed themselves by the day trying to prove a point, and each time they try to prove this point, they keep failing and keep falling. MAZI Solomon. So let's take this clip and listen to what the new Ohaneze Secretary General have to say about the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, including me and you, not just MAZI NNAMDI KANU, but including everybody who is fighting for Biafra.
Security in Igbo land is a matter of concern, both within the Igbo zone and within the country as a whole. Concerning the problem and the finger pointing about Igbos because of NNAMDI KANU, I have this to say in my inaugural statement. NNAMDI KANU is one of us, is our son, and he must listen to some of us. And the issue of Biafra is way, way beyond and above the capacity of young men. Certainly beyond their ability to resolve. It's a collective dilemma of Ndigbo. According to some people, a proverb in Igbo land, madness is not a small child's business. The Igbo nation is not at war with Nigeria, and we have nothing pending before any institutional authority in the world that demands a separate existence for the Igbo from Nigeria. So Igbos are not secessionists. People should make no mistake about it.
Yeah, MAZI Solomon, thank you very much. Welcome. Before you proceed, I want to give our people a little detail, and I'll be bringing that detail in a moment. But I want you to drop a comment on what this new Secretary General of NNAMDI just said about MAZI NNAMDI KANU and everybody that is agitating for Biafra. MAZI Solomon, go ahead.
Okay, I think that we have to give the details of what he is trying to say, because I always said in this very program that example was given to two individuals, and with a glass of water that is not full, that is almost half, and it was presented to two individuals, and the one said it is half to be full, and one said it is half to be empty. So in personal opinion, with the comment of Prof. George Obiozo, two different people, you can understand it in two different ways. But in our own opinion, as giving details to his comment in this occasion, I want you to listen very, very careful. Number one point he made is that Igbos are NNAMDI KANU, and then NNAMDI KANU is Igbo. Then NNAMDI KANU is a Biafran, and Biafran is NNAMDI KANU. First of all, because it is undeniable fact. Undeniable fact. So, and the world has to understand it. And you need to understand the point from that very angle. Because you know, in the cost for them to be able to stop the way of the freedom of the people, they will also implicate themselves, because these are undeniable facts. Undeniable fact. No matter how you try to twist the truth, at the end, people must view the truth. Because you cannot stop a pregnant. You cannot use a palm of hands to cover a full-blown pregnancy. So, because he did not see any other side, which he's going to put in NNAMDI KANU, because if it's possible for them, for him, he would have said that NNAMDI KANU is from Maiduguri, or NNAMDI KANU is from Ariwa. If we could have seen any possible means, he could have said NNAMDI KANU is not one of us, he's from Oduduwa. But because there is no other way he can corner the truth, he come openly to say NNAMDI KANU is one of us. So now they have cleared the point that he did not fall from heaven to start talking about Biafra. He did not fall from British to start talking about Biafra. He is an indigenous person, and he has 110 right of an indigenous person of Biafra. So his leadership must be acknowledged and accepted. And in this note, Obiozo has no option than to accept the leadership of MAZI NNAMDI KANU and accept his position as an indigenous person that is fighting to free his people. But we will give you detail of what happened in that conversation and where he's trying to navigate. According to our own opinion, you might have your own opinion as to regard to what transpires there. But in our own opinion, we are going to give you detail. Maybe you make sense of what is happening in that very environment. Now, number one, he declared that MAZI NNAMDI KANU, he is an indigenous person. He is a Biafran. He is an Igbo man. That his heritage can never be denied or be taken away from him. So that simply means that anything that he is doing for his people, it is under his own right, is under his own right for doing whatever that he's doing. Now, coming to their own opinion, Obiozo make it specifically there that one, Biafrans are not in war with Nigerian, which is true. But Obiozo did not make it clear if Nigeria are in war with Biafran, because it's two different things. Somebody is in war with you while you are not in war with that very person. So we are not in war with Nigeria. We are only demanding for referendum. But Nigeria has brought war to us. In such circumstances, Obiozo also need to understand what needed to be done. In a situation where you are not in war with somebody, but that person has brought a war to you, what do you need to do? Obiozo has to clear himself on that very aspect. Now, he come back again to declare that Nigerians, that Igbos in general, which is talking about Biafrans, because you can't separate Igbo from Biafra. Igbo is Biafra, Biafra is the Igbo. In the earlier stage, I tell you that if not for the failure of people like Ohaneze and Igbo and the rest of them, and the man we discussed about that stays in Lagos yesterday, if not for the failure of all these people who wear red caps that portray themselves as the leaders of Igbos that fell, by now the whole old eastern region should have been under the umbrella of Igbo as a political front. That when you talk of Igbo, you talk of all the tribes, including the tribes you regard as Igbos, including the tribes you regard as Ijo, including the tribes you regard as Yoruba, including the tribes you regard as Ibanke, and all of them, and Anoma, all of them supposed to be under the umbrella of Igbo. That if we have Ohaneze and Igbo today, Ohaneze and Igbo should be generally for all these people, in respective of your tribe, because that Igbo, when you take that Igbo out from the tribes, it becomes an umbrella, and that was what the North did, and that was what the South did. They take that a particular name or a language, and it becomes an umbrella for all of them who are in that very region in terms of political use, for political use only. Because ndị Igbo na-asị ekesie n'obi anana mkpuke, ekesie n'ama anana obi, so definitely Igbo supposed to be the umbrella, for umbrella for all the people in that old eastern regions, for political purposes only. For political purposes, everybody can still go back. I'm an Anambra man, and I come from the state they call Anambra, and others come from the state they call Enugu state. Even the languages are not even the same. The languages of the people, the more you move from one village to the other, you discover they speak different dialects. They speak different dialects, which our proverb said, Igbo na asu but hapa ukwala obulofu. So simply shows that even in the areas where you regard that these are Igbo, they also have their differences. But when it comes to a political use, for a political purpose, we're supposed to have one umbrella in which we are approaching the issue of Nigeria, the issue of political structure in Nigeria, the issue of any political agenda or ideology in Nigeria is supposed to be under the umbrella of Igbos, of which the people who are reside today in Anambra state and they are around that area are the people who are supposed to provide this leadership to all of us. That despite the language you speak in that area, we still have an umbrella that is coordinating our political front. And if they have worked for the interest of everybody at the earlier stage and they be able to provide leadership, they would have not had the opportunity of coming to divide us. So now, Obiozo specifically says there in his comment, and because that is where I'm coming from, he says, we have no any pending issue as to regard to requesting for a separate independent nation for Igbos. That Igbos are not in seek of that. That is the pure truth. The people you reduce as Igbo today, they are not seeking for a separate state that will belong to them, or a separate independent nation that will belong to them. Rather, they are seeking for a separate independent nation that will accommodate other tribes that they have succeeded to divide us from. So they are seeking for independent nation that will accommodate others, will make their own law according to the challenges and according to the situation that is suitable for the people on that very area. Because in Nigeria, we don't have such a nation that has an indigenous-based constitution, a constitution that is written by the people. So therefore, we are not seeking a nation that will be peculiar to people they reduce today are the southeastern people, because they are the people they are regarding as Igbos today. But we are more than that. We are more than that. So now Obiozor is actually trying to portray to you how they have failed as entity to be able to bring all the people in the old eastern region under one umbrella for a political purpose. So today they are settling with the crumbs that fall from the master's table. They are not as big as they're supposed to be. They are not as powerful as they're supposed to be.
MAZI, there is a point I want to raise that is very, very important.
Yes, I make this point. You are here. Just wait for me 1 second. I make this very point. Now, Obiozor himself addressing that Igbos have no such pending or demand to have is a pure truth. And him himself, he is doing it. He's doing what he's doing based that he wanted to counter your struggle. But actually, he's presenting the truth to the world that we Igbos are not looking for a separate independent nation that will be peculiar to us, but we are looking for independent nation that will accommodate all our tribes who as well not regarded or being separated from us, that are not regarded as Igbo today, or even claiming that they are not Igbos. So our project is wider than what Obiozor himself can be able to preside over. And that is exactly what it means. I stop there, Mazi part coming, because I have more to say as to regard to the point I want to make. Thank you.
Yes, Mazi Solomon, it is very, very important that we look up, because my own specific reason of raising this issue today is to look at where he said that the young men are not meant. The Biafra struggle is not meant for young people. We must remember that during the Civil War in 1967 to 70, as young as 16-year-old fought in the battlefield.
Mazi Pat, I cannot hear you, but if the audience can hear me, I can proceed. The point that Mazi Pat is trying to raise here is that Biafran is not the issue of age. Biafran is not the issue of age. It is an issue of ideology. It's not an issue of age. So that is just the point that Mazi Pat is trying. But if I will come there before he returns, he seems to have some network challenges. I don't know if people are still hearing me. They can comment. They can send on their comment if you are still hearing me, if the problem has not affected all of us. If you are still hearing me, please, can you make a comment? Can you make a comment so I can proceed? Sorry. If you are still hearing me, can you make a comment so that, make a comment that you are still hearing me so we can proceed? Or have we totally lost it? Yes, so okay, people are still hearing me. Yeah. In the perspective of Mazi Pat, he's talking about when he's referring the agitation under the leadership of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu as agitation for the young men. Now, the issue of Biafra, the issue of Biafra at that point is not the issue of age. It is the issue of ideology. So he has to get it right, because some of them are educated fools. They lack common sense. The issue of Biafra is not the issue of age. Even a boy of 10 years old was interviewed during the Biafran 1967 to 1970. A young man of 10 years was interviewed, and the question that was thrown to the young man, do you know why Biafrans are fighting? Do you know what Biafrans are fighting for? And he answered his question accurately. It's not, and there is people in their 70s, in their 60s that could not answer the question that that boy at the age of 10 years answered. He said, Biafrans, they are fighting for survival. So ideology of that fight is for the survival of the people in the old eastern region, because they have been persecuted all over the country. So they come back in their own space to find safety. And yet the Nigerian declare war against them. So they are fighting the war of defense, trying to survive, trying to make sure that they are not being wiped away. So they are fighting the war of survival. And that boy at the age of 10 years answered the question accurately, and which we know there is people of age of 40, 35 that are running under that their mother is hiding under their wrapper at that very point in time. And there is some of them that are hiding under their bed, hiding inside the bush, because they don't want to identify with the challenge of that very time. And if they have been met, we see a man who is also called Matthias, a very grown man, but he was not able to answer a competent question, as the question that that young boy at the age of, at that very particular age of 10 was able to answer that kind of question. Do you know why Biafra is? Do you know what Biafrans are fighting for? He said, yes, I do. He said, what are they fighting for? They are fighting for survival. So he, at that age, he's educated. So the issue of Biafra is not the issue of age. It's not the issue of who is 70 and who is 80 or who is 100 or who is 500 years or who is Methuselah in that geographic zone. It does not count to that. What it counts for is the ideology. Did you understand the ideology of the struggle for Biafra? That is what is important. So if you understand the ideology, then even at the age of 10, you can lead the agitation. Even at the age of 5, that you understand the ideology behind Biafran struggle, then you can lead the struggle better than a man who is 150 but does not have understanding of what the ideology of the struggle stands for, or what is the ideology of the struggle, because Biafran struggle is based on ideology. And you need to understand it for you to lead the agitation. That is very, very important. It does not depend on the age. It all depends on the understanding of the ideology. So that is where Obiozo is mixing it very totally. Now, if we can proceed from what he's saying, because why I'm raising this point is because I want you to see the aspect in which these people that you might have a slight regard as elder or even as leaders, I want you to understand how they have failed woefully. How they have failed woefully. Now, he said that the issue of Biafra are not under the power of young people to resolve. That is not under the power of young men and young women, because he regards the agitations as purely the agitation of young women. But that is not the truth. If we can make assessment of people who are behind IPOP, at least in the highest count, we can count that the number of people who are 65, 70, 75, 80, and even 100 years old are included. But when they want to access IPOP and the struggle of Biafra right now under the leadership of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, the first thing they have to take view of is the age of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu. So, and for the fact that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is presiding as a leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, so everybody under that struggle is now under his age. Or everything under everybody under that his struggle, the struggle should be all be graded under his age. But that is not even the point, because I have made the point that actually the struggle of Biafra does not require your age. All he's required is the understanding of the ideology. MAZI part is part. Let him lend voice to what I've been saying. I don't know if you listen or if he doesn't. Thank you, MAZI.
Yes, I didn't, because I had some network issues, but I don't know what you've said in the past. But what I want to point out here is
MAZI, listen before you join. Listen before you join, because you miss out.
Yes.
What we are trying to do here is to resolve issue and be able to make you to see how you cannot be able to sponsor failure. Do you understand? See how these people has failed, and the reason why you don't need to sponsor those failure, because the more support you give to such people, the more failure you become. The more failure you become. So we are here to resolve the issue. We are not here to show the world how separated we are and how divided we are, but we are here to resolve the issue, to bring understanding to people based on the things that Ubiozo says that he lacks understanding about. Thank you.
MAZI, before I read out what I want to read out, let us take that clip once again. Very important. For those who were not here when I played the clip at first, so that it will make more sense. Let's take a look at that clip once again about what the Ohaneze Secretary General said.
Security in Igbo land is a matter of concern, both within the Igbo zone and within the country as a whole. Concerning the problem and the finger pointing about Igbos because of Nnamdi Kanu, I have this to say in my inaugural statement. Nnamdi Kanu is one of us, is our son, and he must listen to some of us. And the issue of Biafra is way, way beyond and above the capacity of young men.
MAZI, he said that the issue of Biafra is way, way, way beyond the capacity of young men. Our eternal leader, OJUKWU, was born on the 4th of November, 1933. And he led the Biafra War in 1967. And with my calculation, between 1933 and 1967 is 34 years. So he was 34 years when he led the Biafra War. And I can tell you that I am 8 years above that age, my own personal age. Today, I'm talking about myself now, that even it is an insult to me that what OJUKWU did at 4 years, I couldn't, at 34, I wasn't where I am today in Biafra agitation. That is by the way. MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, was born on the 25th of September, 1967, exactly the same year that the Biafra War broke out. And between 1967 and 2021, from my calculation, the age difference is 54 years old. So MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is 54 years old. And when you take out 34 from 54, you have 20 years difference. So MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is 20 years older than OJUKWU when he led the Biafran War. And today we have Obiozo telling us that the issue of Biafra is way, way more bigger than the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, MAZI Solomon.
Okay.
Don't you think that Ohaneze and Igbo have a long way to go? Or yes, I mean, MAZI, I don't know what to say. Go ahead.
They have dimension. They have dimension. They are sick in the brain. They are actually trying to sugarcoat the truth. They are running around the circle. You know, they are running around the circle. Like what they are pretending. Let me because these people, it is time that we start going hard a bit. Okay, despite that, we are trying to reconcile situation here. We don't want people to notice our infight and in disagreement, because it's within our right to disagree on issues and finally agree. But if I can come directly, the pretense here is that we don't want Nigerians, because we make our intention known in 1967. And that move was defeated when we surrendered to absorb back into Nigeria. So now with the names, with all the bad names that British labeled our people, and we are called at that moment, we are secessionists, we are rebel, we are this. There is no bad name that they did not call us at that very moment. Okay. Now, what people are trying to pretend here is that we should not go into a thing that will again revive those bad names that we are called during 1967 to 1970. So therefore, because they are trying to dodge away from those things from the eyes of the world or from the eyes of the people, so therefore now it now make them into becoming a big time liars and become people who run away, who always want to shy away from responsibility. Like within them and within their mindset, Biafra is a reality. Biafra is #1 choice. But in their projections as being political correct, they wanted the world to see that they are not actually trying to repeat the things that makes them call, help the Britons to sell out the bad names that they sell out to the world as to regard to our people. That is just the truth. Inside Obiozo, he knows, I've said it here, inside him, he knows that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is his leader. He knows that they have failed woefully. And no matter how long they try to patch it, they try to cover it, yet the obvious is trying also to expose them. And that is at the point where MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is looking at, this is not something we can be covered. This is not something that we can be shying away from. We need to face the reality. And in facing reality, we need to prove that we are not rebel. We are not secessionists, but we are people who want to survive under human rights. We need a survival, which is the right of every existence human being on earth. We are not secessionists. We are inviting Nigeria into a negotiation. And that is why MAZI Nnamdi Kanu said, when OJUKWU went to Aburi, did he go for secession? No. When our delegate went to the federal conference, that Jonathan organized. Did we go there as a secessionist? No. When our people demand for restructuring, is it for secession? No. All these things are the point in which we are holding Nigeria, as an entity. That we have tried to engage Nigeria into resolving the economic blanket over our people, into resolving the political political blanket over our people. And this is what is resulting into insecurities today. And this is what resulting into having Fulani herdsmen threatening people in their farm, killing and rampaging. This the political blanket that is over our people and the economic blanket over our people is the reason for all those things. And these are the things that we have tried to resolve in different fronts, which we see unresolvable as long as Nigeria entity is concerned. They are coming to tell us they can't look into the constitution because he sued them. There will be no constitutional amendment. They say they can't restructure because the position of Nigeria today suit them. Do you think that if it is Ariwa that are in our situation, they should not today fighting for even carrying arm to get restructuring? They should. They should. Because when they are threatened after the coup 1966, they go and they arm themselves, they come back and they do counter coup. Because it is not, they feel like they are threatened, it's not in their favor. They arm themselves. Did they go to the extent of the negotiation in which Biafrans has engaged Nigeria into? No way. And after all this engagement, you expect when OJUKWU finish, then when MAZI and the KANU continue, he will start repeating what OJUKWU did. There is no need of reinforcing failure, as Obasanjo told them. You cannot reinforce failure. If anybody has engaged into negotiation and they fail, another person that is coming should not. And also in agitation of MAZI and the KANU, our demand has also been straight to Nigeria that all we are demanding is not to be a secessionist group. We need referendum so that people can exercise their right, their indigenous right to decide. And the MAZI and the KANU have said this specifically. If our people today vote to be in Nigeria, why should he be agitating? Just a very simple argument. A very simple argument. Obiozor have said, right, we are not secessionists. These are the name that the British label us in order to have their way, in order to kill 5 million of us. These are the name they label us in order to kill 5 million of us, almost 3,500 children. They starved them to death. So we are not secessionists. We are not secessionists. Our demand is very, very straight. Let it get into the skull of Obiozor before he's mistaking our demand. Our demand is very plain. Our demand is not to fight Nigeria. Our demand is not to carry arms against Nigeria. When ESN was launched, MAZI and the KANU and make a very clear, specific speech. The launching of ESN is to combat with the people you regard as bandits, and the world has regarded them as the number 4 most dangerous terrorists. So now we want to chase them because we need to be fed. Our mother and the father who did not go to farm, what are they going to be fed with? That is economic blanket on our people, because they have used those militants to set an economic blanket on our people, even though they are also doing it with instrument of government, because they know that we are the one that are more into business. That is why they try to destabilize anything that has to do with business in Nigeria. Nothing is moving. There is no good environment for business, no light, no road, and nothing is being done because they want economic blanket on our people. They don't want you to progress in that aspect of business. Look at what is happening in the wharf. Look at what is happening in the border. These are economic blankets. Look at even our airports. Most of the airports in the eastern region is not a standard airport for business. And look at even the seaports in all our areas. They make sure that they destabilize those things for economic blanket on our people. So therefore, our agitation and our demand is very, very straight. Our agitation is based on a ideology to liberate ourselves from such a deliberate political blanket and economic blanket. Because now when I say political, you need to understand that most people that are being put in power and most people who are parading themselves as their leaders are not your choice people. They are not your people of choice. And the people who should occupy that positions and advance the cause of the indigenous people, they are not giving them the chance. You have to be a murderer. You have to go into armed struggle. You have to raise talk. You have to kill. You have to destroy your environment, as is being done today between Rogers and the governor of Hope Ozodimba. So these are the issues. Economic blanket in whereby you cannot choose your leaders. They appoint who is your leader. So when they look the most corrupt individuals amongst you, they will smuggle them into power, because once they are corrupt, they know that you are stagnant. So they now find a way using them to manipulate your environment and to manipulate your political space. And in economic aspect, also look at it, no infrastructures, just because they don't want you to excel in business. They don't want you to excel in business, and they are using their Fulani militias also to cause fear, so that the little you can do in the farm to make sure you are eating as to depend to where the issue should be resolved. They make sure they destabilize you. So you are now also having them using the instrument of war, instrument of hunger, using the instrument of using hunger as an instrument of war against you. So these are the issue. So we are not secessionists. Nobody can label us that. And we also are not rebels. We are not into armed struggle with Nigeria. Our demand is referendum. That if our people you forced to be party to Nigerian unity, if they vote to continue in that union, then who will come? We also believe in the due process. But in the asking of those things that is right, then Nigeria declare war on the people. Air strike, looking for ESN. What do you expect the people to do? To just allow themselves to be killed like Christmas goat? No. Self-defense also is human rights law, that we have to defend ourselves. Now, coming to the aspect of resolving the issue of Biafra. Biafra have no different from every other part of the world who depends running of their government, and the affairs of the people based on a due process, based on a political process. We are no different. We are no different from every other nations or every other entities that are demanding for a separate nations. We are no different. We believe in a due process. And the due process that we are requesting for is referendum. In the request for the referendum, do we need to be killed? Do we need to be arrested? Do our women need to be arrested and taken to the barrack? And the soldiers will be raping them. Is that the right thing? And that is what Obiozo need to answer. In demanding for referendum, did we need for a governor now to collude with the army to come for air strike in our villages, in our community? Mazi, I sent you a video where they are air strike, where they throw the bomb in the house of people, in the community. In the community. We watch it. BBC Igbo was there. In demand for referendum, do we actually deserve the treatment that Nigerians are treating us? OJUKWU in 1967 declared Biafra. Okay, does Nigeria needed to engage into war or have to engage into diplomatic discussion? Maybe at the end of the day, they would have convinced OJUKWU in the world before the world to come back to the union, or maybe they have used that very opportunity to engage to resolve what were the issues. Nigeria don't want to attend to such people. That is why when you complain in Southern Kaduna, they will kill you. When you complain anywhere, they will kill you. They will come with war. They will declare war against you. Just for you to ask to address the issues which people need to sit on the round table. Did they need to declare war in 1967? It was at the failure of the Aburi Accord that OJUKWU said, we stand there. And they said they can never. Now, if you can never stand there, why can't you create another meeting? Why can't you engage and see, okay, these are the things we agree that we are not agreeing anymore. Can we have more negotiation and more talk in this very aspect? Rather, they declare war. The same thing repeating itself today. We said we want referendum. They declare war. Did we now have to run back into our mother's stomach and said it's better we are not born and we will leave the earth for them? We are already out here. We are here. We already out. And we have our ancestral land. If they did not disappoint us by securing those ancestral land, why should we then disappoint them by surrendering our ancestral land to our enemies? Because our ancestors are no more here and we are the people representing them. Has Obiozo asked why Nigeria killed our youth, our Igbo youth at Emene, who just come to agitate and said, we don't like the way things are being done. This economic blanket and this political blanket over us is not in our best interest. We needed to negotiate on that very aspect. What stopped Nigeria into negotiating? MAZI NNAMDI KANU come out from the prison. The governor called him for meeting. Only for once, they sent assassination to his house. What kind of people is like that? What kind of people is like that? And when you said you want Biafra, they say you a secessionist. What makes them a secessionist? Why they have a political way of demanding for their right, a due process of demanding for their right. Then you send soldiers to kill them at Emene. You send soldiers to kill them at Igwasha. You send soldiers to kill them at Impo Massacre. What kind of nation is that? What kind of nation is like that? And the British will help them to label you militant in Niger Delta. They will help you. They will help you to label them rebel. They will help you to label them secessionists, which we are not. These are the rights that are being found in the law that people need to request for. This is our right. And it is wrong for any Biafran agitation to accept that we are secessionists. We are not. We are only struggling for survival of our race. We want to survive as a people. We want the economic and political blockade over our people to be lifted. We want to renegotiate our coexistence. That's what we write. So if they want, let them keep down their gun. Why should they engage ESN with gun, with airstrike, instead of them engaging them into conversation, instead of engaging Biafran agitators into conversation? How do we go about this? How do we go about this? They will never negotiate. Only one meeting with MAZI NNAMDI KANU. The next day, Python start dancing in his house. What kind of people is this? And these are the people who appointed judge. These are the group of people who appointed Hope Uzodimma as your governor.
These are the kind of people who appointed all your representatives. And that is why you can see them, they always try to shy away. Then Kambaha, what is said in Igbo land, Adobie, Zoshie, Odaha. Don't you ever, you believe in that politics of trick. The politics of trick does not work with Fulani because they are trickish themselves. They are trickish. Their religion and their culture teach them how to practice takia. So when they are talking to you, they are looking at your forehead. They have their soothsayers. They have their magicians where they make inquiry of what you content inside. Before you make any move, they already knows who you are, no matter how you try to cover it, so that at the end you smuggle yourself as a president and you begin to address. If our problem cannot be addressed in the open as we are tabling them, you cannot address them in the secret. It's impossible. It is an impossible. We cannot steal our nation. We cannot steal our rights. Which kind of people is like that? You want to steal your right from who? Does anybody has any right to hold back your right in the first place? Why should he be on a stealing? Let's keep quiet. Let's keep mellow. You know what happened in 1960s? They gang up. We know Biafra is in our mind. It can't happen that way. We must continue in that very struggle. And everybody, that is how you know. That is how you will know when you are dealing with people of integrity. They don't hide their feelings. They don't hide their intentions. They don't go behind the scene. They come openly so that in next 1 million years, you can put them. So our people must return back to reality. The reality is that Nigeria is not workable. The position of Nigeria is not, it does not guarantee anything to indigenous people. That is just the truth. Abazin also, don't stop running away. For how long? Obiozo, how old are you? For how long do you think you can run away from the truth and then eventually the truth will die? Is that what you are thinking? No matter how long you run away from the truth will remain truth. After 100 years, the truth will still come back, still truth. So we cannot accept that position of the political correctness of Ohaneze and Igbo because they have failed woefully. Why are all of us not under the umbrella of Igbos today as a political front, where they are not even able to bring back our brothers that are being carved into other states? No communication with them. We are losing them. And the politics is a game of number. And you are busy running. They are the one reducing us into a smaller number. Do you know how Okoso, Siaga, from big, continue rolling down to the smallest particle? They are the one, because they don't know the strategy. They don't know, they don't have the strategy. They don't have the ideology. They don't have the knowledge. But yet they will wear red cap and they will be portraying themselves as people who has wisdom. And they portraying themselves as leader everywhere you give them mic to talk nonsense, to vomit rubbish. They should turn away from that. They should accept failure. They should accept the responsibility of failure. We have failed. And then you come back to work with your people who have been educated by MAZI and KANU. They must come back to work with us. We accept wholeheartedly that they must be part of Biafra. They must be part of the restoration of Biafra. But not on this way that they are touring. And that is why we keep talking to them. The way they are touring can never do good to the people. Rather, it will work against the interest of the people. That's why we are trying to call them back home. That Fulanis has already knows that their number one choice is Biafra. If no matter how the governors try to pretend nothing Biafra, they know in their heart that number one choice. Fulani knows it. They have their voodoo. All this your pretense, trying to dodge under your woman wrapper, trying to dodge under English vocabulary, trying to dodge under some naughty activities, even Nyangodo, trying to dodge. He go there and tell them, any man who will touch a Fulani man will first kill in Nyangodo. All these things are pretense. It's just but they never know. They think that Fulani believes in their words. Fulani doesn't believe in your word. Fulani read your intention. They knows that what you are saying in your mouth is not what you have in your heart. They already know. But our people are busy wasting time thinking that their intentions is not being known. Waste of time, waste of energy.
Because Mazi, because us, even the Fulanis themselves believe that they are using takia for them. Because every Fulani knows that an average Igbo man is a Biafra lover, no matter how they try to pretend. And
they also know that NNAMDI KANU is their leader. NNAMDI KANU is the leader of George Obiazo. They know. Fulani sees it like that. They knows that George Obiazo, Professor George Obiazo is receiving instruction from NNAMDI KANU. Despite how he will try to bring him down, a small boy, a young man, and all that. They knows that because you ask me, how did they know? Now, how they know is this. They doing comparison. Who and who does Ohaneze Ndigbo command in Igbo land? Who and who? NNAMDI KANU has commanded them to close down. To close that in the remembrance of our past heroes. They are all shut down. Can Ohaneze Ndigbo give such order? Fulani knows that they cannot. Rather, they just want to use them to be as a political instrument, use them to be doing you people, so that people will hear comment and think there is anything happening on the sky. Nothing is happening. The reflection of the moon is from the sun. They know where the source of power is. They know who holds power in the southeast. And they know his message. They know his stand. No matter how you pretend, these people understood very clearly. Rather, they are giving you opportunity, trying to make you feel like they don't know what the game is up to. They knows. And our people are good, putting resources and wasting time thinking they are dealing with fools. When you talk to them, they think they are Boki, they are Fulani, they didn't go to school. So therefore, they use vocabulary. Those your vocabulary is not what Fulanis are analyzing. They knows your intention. They knows your intention. They knows how smart you are. Okay, Ahmad Bello has already told them. They knows that thing that Ahmad Bello told them about an Igbo man is buried in their heart. Is buried in their heart. That's why you feel like you are clever. They move the capital of Nigeria down through the collaboration of the British down to Lagos. They force you to build Lagos. You think you are smart. They are smarter than you. When they feel, okay, you have built Lagos enough, they use their corny again. They move you to Abuja. They force you to build Abuja. And that is why Simon, if I borrow his word, who called that man antelope. That is why he finds his way to be telling you what you have in Abuja, what you have in Lagos. Very soon, they are going to move you. They are smart. It's only us who are thinking these people doesn't know anything. They don't have Western education. They don't have Western education. They don't even have school site. But they are your president, and a professor of law is their vice. They knows how to use not having education to be in power, and they hire you to work for them. You are only just a minor staff. You don't have the power. You don't have the authority. They are using you instead of you standing your ground. And reason why they find way to be using all Nigerians is because we are not able to stand our ground. You see the governor of Benue State I am telling you, if somebody like that man continue in the leadership of Benue State in the next 8-10 years, Fulani can never dare them again. But they use those people who she has already conquered and they put them in the place of power, and they will be using them to manipulate you, thinking that something is happening, thinking that the moon is generating light by himself without knowing that is the reflection of sun. So these are the things our people need to understand. This politics you want to hide. What hiding for who? Come out, declare your stand, and they fight the battle and finish it for one. It's either they come to the round table to negotiate Nigeria, or when they bring war to you, then you will do the needful. You do the needful. What is the most important is the political freedom of your people and the economic freedom of your people. That's why the Niger Delta groups that comes out, you see all the equal treatment, and I support them. If Fulani's government, federal government can support Fulani to fight for cow, they should support Niger Delta people to fight for what is rightful belongs to them. If there is anything like Niger Delta, those their rights that have been taken away, they are supporting Fulanis, protecting Fulanis. They should also protect people in that region over their rights. But what did they do? They take away the right of the people. They make sure that these people were being marginalized. And the Bible says this is the evil that happens, that evil that are being seen on the earth, that the priests and the kings are going barefooted, and yet slaves are riding on horses. Where on earth do you allow such thing happen? You can't allow such trip. If British even want to be taking oil free in Biafran land, they should have that deal direct with Biafran people. So we know we are the one giving them our oil. So we know we are the one giving them. If Fulani want oil in our land, so they should also come. So we'll be one giving them oil, giving them those resources. So we know that we are the one who are directly involved. We cannot be of a kenamarom bekele nkoka. That's why we are here. Our agitation is very right. We are not engaging anybody in armed struggle. But when they come to kill you, what will happen? You must get ready. If you know that these people are coming to you with war, you must get ready to defend yourself. And some of their elites and their ex-military has also come out to tell us to do the same. We don't need to be running away from the bandits, from the Nigerian military who are bandits, and from the Nigerian government who are terrorists. We should not be running away from them. Defend yourself against the terrorists. Defend yourself against the bandits. Defend yourself against the killers, Fulani herdsmen, the number 4 most dangerous terrorist group in the world. That's what we are doing. But defending ourselves is not our demand. Why we are in this struggle is not for us to stand defending ourselves. But why we are in this struggle is to place our demand on the table. And our demand is referendum. Is that too hard? Does anything combine arms and referendum? Does both of them have dissenting? Our demand is referendum. Give us referendum. And we ask for referendum. You send military strike. To strike our bushes. We ask for referendum. You start raping our women. Which one is that? We cannot be stuck. And that is why I'm bringing this message to Obiozor, so that he will understand that is not even under his power to resolve the issue of Biafra. That is more or less under our own power. Who are the future of the ancestral land that Fulanis are struggling to take over through the instrumental of the federal government, supporting terrorism in our land, sponsoring terrorism in our land. Where does it happen? Where you have to order your military to do a strike against the people that you're supposed to provide governance, protection of life and property, and you are busy destroying your property. Under what note? Have you convinced them of anything? You don't understand. So therefore, Obiozor should understand that we are not secessionists, as he said, And so let it not saying it as maybe the message that IPOP is preaching is the message of secession. Our message is not the message of secession. Our message is the message of due process of obtaining human rights. That is our message. And we cannot stand for them to come and kill us for asking for what is our right. We must defend ourselves. So if you don't get the message into your skull, I want you to understand it, that MAZI Nnamdi Kanu is overqualified. He is overqualified. That's why MAZI Pat quoted his age, the age of Abel, and do the comparison. He is more than qualified to do the job that he is doing. He's overqualified. He's extra qualified for the job that he's doing. And also, no matter how long you pretend, Fulani knows that Nnamdi Kanu is your leader. They knows. So let us stop game and let Biafrans view this, the failure of these people, that there is nothing that can come out, nothing good can come out of what they are about to think by tomorrow, that they are analog thinking. There's nothing good that can come out of it. The more you expect them, like some of them who are wearing masses, looking like a nama, for that man to be vomiting what is vomiting unchallenged. No matter how long you wait for these people, they can only go to Abuja and they fill their pocket, go to governor, collect some bribes, and they will be coming to be saying nonsense. They can't do nothing. They cannot do anything. Fulani, remove IPOP today. If Fulani today decide Iwapo Igbo, we are done. Who are you going to call? Who? If you remove IPOP today and they shut down MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, and the Fulani decided that they want to vend an Igbo land today, they will do it with will. I mean, they will scatter everywhere, destroyed everywhere. The world has not questioned them in the atrocity they committed in Igbo land in 1967 to 1970. And even at today, the atrocity that they will commit if you remove IPOP, the world will not be interested in asking them, because somebody is shielding them, who is the permanent member of Security Council. And what we are doing in IPOP is to indict them. Because the world need to understand the level of criminal mindset that is among the people that they are accommodating as a permanent as a permanent member. So if today remove IPOP, remove Nnamdi Kanu, Obiozo will be a story. If the Fulani decide to invent an Igbo today or invent Biafra, Obiozo will only be calling the soldier who all those they are plumping power. Their all powers are depending on Fulani's soldiers who are terrorists, who are Boko Harams. All their powers are dependent on those police of Nigeria who are terrorists and who are Boko Harams. You think when you call them, when you run into the problem, when you call them, you will see them. They can only appear in the kind of fight that Ozodimba in Imo State and Rogers Okoro Hausa is fighting. That is the kind of fight you will see them. But when it comes to the fight that has to do with the agenda of the Fulani, no phone call goes through. And you need to understand, we cannot continue to pretend. Pretend as much as you can. At the end of the day, you discover that there will be no best time for you to fight for your right than today. And there will be no good leadership that you need to support as to fight for your right than the leadership of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu and the IPOP. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter the name you are calling them. It doesn't matter how you see them. Because we know those people who create that name. We know. Here we are not looking at person, how favor look, how favor Solomon act, or how Patrick act. Or we are not looking at a person. Our focus is the ideology of Biafra. It's not, nobody is focusing on MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, how he look. So like people will see his picture, they become jealous. Hey, he's getting fat. Hey, fine boy. Fine boy will not give you a Biafra. It is the lion heart being demonstrated towards the ideology of Biafra. Our focus is that ideology. Focused on that ideology. Anything that is going on that direction is where your taxed money go. Is where your contribution and donation go. Once your eyes is on that ideology, then you are doing the right thing. But once you shift your ideology to Nigeria, Nigeria will be better today. For 60-something years, it has never been any better government in Nigeria. It was always go from worst, from one point of bad situation to more terrible situation. So that ideology is bringing you into pit. The Bible says when a blind leadeth a blind, both will fall into pit. Who will make Nigeria better tomorrow? Who is there? Check the people online. Check the people that is online. Check the people that is online. Who is coming? Oh, you think those people who are bribing, they can find their way? If you have what it takes to make Nigeria great, Fulani will not allow you to smell there. You want to take sugar out of their mouth? They will not allow you. What you just need to do, support the ideology of Biafra. Support the ideology of the agitation for Biafra. That is the only thing that will remove the economic and the political blanket that is covered. That the reason why people in the River Rai area are complaining that there is no water, there is no health care, there is no road, there is no even job for the youth. It is the economic blanket and the political blanket that is over you, because you don't have the right leaders. They keep giving you trash. People like Hope Uzodinma, people like the drunkard, the one they call drunkard in Abia State, people like David Umai, people like the one in Anambra State, and the people like the one in River State. These are the kind of people they will keep giving to you. People who can never listen to your cry. People who can never address the issues as to regard to you. Amechi, Minister of Transport, when they ask him a vital question as to regard to the life of his people, he will say, I will go and tell my wife my stand when I get home. So the business of governance in Nigeria is now between him and his wife. These are the kind of weak individuals they keep giving you, people who can never address any issue as to regard to the inhuman treatments, as regard to the way that the bad way that you are being governed. So continue to support the ideology of Biafra. Obiozo is a failure. His group is a failure. Looking to them to address any issue is to sponsor failure. They are failure in Animo. They failed to unite the people. They failed to have one front, one political front, as to face the north or to face the west. They have failed woefully. They have succeeded in dividing you into pieces, into small units, so that you cannot be able to make any headway. That is what they have succeeded to do. So that's what they have succeeded to do. So for you to continue to sponsor them, I'm very, very sorry. You are putting your life into danger and the life of your community. Thank you, Mazi Pat. That's my submission.
Yeah, Mazi, thank you very much. We promise that this program will not be more than an hour, and it's already an hour, 15 minutes past. So, Mazi, we want to round it up so that we'll be able to face the activities of the day.
Thank you.
So, can you please give Biafrans your last take?
Yeah, I've already spoken for a very long time. I believe that somebody who has given such long
period of time to speak. I have in my mind in this very matter, and I have done my little analysis, and that is not where it stopped, because it could be my opinion. It could be the way I'm saying it, or the way I am seeing from the eyes of a smaller unit of people. You could also have a broader interpretation to what happened. But what I know at this very moment, and what I was able to be educated by MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, is just all that I have said in this very matter, that nobody should look down the position. Anybody who is looking down the position of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu in Ali Igbo today, that person is a fool. Anybody who is looking down on the position of MAZI Nnamdi Kanu as a stand Biafra in the old eastern region, that person is a fool. And anybody who is not supporting the ideology of Biafra, or who is trying to be political correct in order to hide himself to be friend with the Fulanis, as the man in River State do. He killed the Igbo people in order to have friendship in Sokoto. Anybody who is doing those things is going into sin, because it's called unsustainable practice. You cannot sustain that move, but the only move that is sustainable is the ideology for Biafra, that is going to free you for life from all the political blanket and all the economic blanket that you are being in, which is the reason why you are complaining and crying and dying and being in prison and being raped in police station and being raped in your farm. So disintegration of Nigeria is the way forward, and we are demanding it in a very peaceful way, except Nigeria, who love violence, that wanted to kill our people, and we need to defend ourselves. We are demanding for referendum. Let them give us referendum. Eventually, our people voted to continue to be part of Nigeria. Then most of us who are preaching this very gospel will have enough reason to leave this agitation. So that is just the word that I'm putting there for the public. So please, I will love to be back in this very program as MAZI Pat, who is the host we choose to bring me back. Before then, my name remains Solomon Peter. Remain blessed. Bye.
Thank you very much, MAZI Solomon. Thank you very much. I want to say thank to each and every one of you. It's already 1:30 a.m. here, and I believe we've done justice to this discourse. And I want to say thank to each and every one of you who stood by us till from the beginning till the end of this discussion. And I'll be coming back again until we meet. My name is MAZI Patrick Dike, and I'm happy to be your host. And I hope that very soon we'll be seeing each other again. And until we see again, I want to say God bless you and have a wonderful day, morning and night, wherever you might be. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend.
NNAMDI KANU odogwu jisike osisi Chukwu nyelu ndị Igbo. Asị m gị gaba n'iru n'onwere ife ba ga-eme, ọchọ nke a dị ilu ma chacha. Ọchọ nke a dị ilu, okwu nna m gwara m gbuo, ọ sị na ọchọ nke a dị ilu. Ịma na nwata chọba nke ya, akpọbi ya ajọ mmadụ, mana nke nwa ka nwa na-achọ. Chukwu okike bụ ị na-asụ, Chukwu okike so ga-eje, na onwere ife ndị ya ga-eme. Ebe ba na-egbutere gị na Operation Python Dancing, na onwere ife ọzọ ba ga-eme. Maka na ọchọ nke a dị ilu, ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'oge anyị. Ọ sị na ya marọ, emesi aka na ị ga-amarịli, emesi aka na ị ga-aghọta. Ndị ọcha achasị bute, ọcha ha achasị bute, nke ji ụlọ n'Igbo erika. Ndị ji ni maka ibi ego, wele kwụsị ụmụnne ba, unu godu ma na-agwa, ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'oge anyị. Ka ịchọ n'oge anyị, ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọ n'oge anyị, ka ịchọba n'oge anyị, ụmụ Igbo ka ịchọba n'oge anyị. Onye jizi na nwanne ya je politiks, ka ịchọ n'oge anyị. Onye jizi na na nwanne ya jalụ mgbele aicho n'oge anyị na-anụgo aicho n'oge anyị nke m ka anyị bụ nke anyị nke m bụ nke anyị bụ nke